Good morning, viewers. Hello and welcome to the Morning News Show, where we bring you the latest headlines and insightful stories to kickstart your day. I'm Koina Sharma and you are watching CNN News 18. First up on top of this bulletin, we're tracking some updates from international grounds where Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni takes aim at the left, accusing them of hysteria and double standards in the wake of conservative victories. These are the latest inputs we are tracking at this point of time. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has slammed the left, saying that the left is nervous, and with Trump's victory, their irritation has turned into hysteria. Not only because conservatives are actually winning, but because conservatives are now collaborating globally as well. Hailing the Modi wave, she further added that when Trump, Meloni, Millet or maybe Modi talk, they're called a threat to democracy. This is the last double standard, but we are used to it. And the good news is that people no longer believe in their lies despite all the mud they throw at us. Let's listen in.
That is why the left is nervous. And with Trump's victory, their irritation has turned into hysteria. Not only because conservatives are winning, but because conservatives are now collaborating globally. When Bill Clinton and Tony Blair created the global leftist liberal network in the 90s, they were called statesmen. Today, when Trump, Meloni, Millet or maybe Modi talk, they are called a threat to democracy. This is the left's double standard. But we're used to it. We are used to it. And the good news is people no longer believe in their lies. Despite all the mud they throw at us, citizens keep voting for us.
Well, we just heard Meloni talk, and it also hailed the rise of global conservative collaboration, pointing to leaders like Trump, Modi and herself as targets of the left-wing criticism. Now, joining us on the broadcast is Akanksha Swaroop for a better perspective into the entire situation. Akanksha, Meloni's comments are stirring up a lot of debate, but how are political leaders and analysts reacting to her stance on the left and the rise of global conservatism?
Kohina, important to highlight what the point that she's trying to make is the sharp contrast, the fallacy, the hypocrisy of the left that she's trying to, bring into focus when she's saying that, when Bill Clinton and Tony Blair created the global leftist liberal network in the 90s, they were called statesmen. But today, when Trump, Meloni, Millet, which is basically Javier Millet, who is the Argentinian president, or maybe Prime Minister Modi of India talk, they are called a threat to democracy. This is the last double standard, but we are used to it. And the good news is that people no longer believe in their lives despite all the mud that's thrown at us. Citizens keep voting for us. So remember, when she makes such a remark at the CPAC, which is a conservative political conference, which the liberals, not just in the United States, even in Europe, have labeled as a neo-fascist gathering, it's a very significant remark that's coming in. Even back in Italy, the liberals had opposed, Giorgia Meloni's presence at the CPAC. She actually made that speech at this conservative conference via a video link. So it's a strong political statement that's coming in. At the same time, remember, we see that tectonic shift of the Trump administration towards Europe, towards the war in Ukraine, and towards Russia itself. The Russian president, ever since the talks began in Riyadh, has been praises for Donald Trump, for the U.S. administration. He's been talking about how the diplomatic missions will resume. So I think Giorgia Meloni's statements have to be put through that prism of the overall shift that's taking place in the geopolitical climate. For Europe, we've already seen it's been a wake-up call over the past 2 weeks. Europeans have awoken to the fact that United States for decades had been the main guarantor of security on their own continent, now wants them to take the lead on Ukraine's defense. So look at her comments through the prism of Ukraine, because right now Europe is worried that if this war goes in favor of Russia, as seems to be, then will that mean a threat to NATO, and what will it mean for Ukraine? These are questions that Europe is currently being plagued by, and this is the message that's already come in waves from U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, even Vice President J.D. Vance, and President Donald Trump himself. At the same time, Meloni has also defended J.D. Vance, who just days ago received severe criticism for his speech at the Munich Security Conference, where he said that Europe's greatest threat came from within. Meloni has dismissed that backlash today, claiming that liberal elites were uncomfortable with conservatives speaking openly about identity and democracy, and that Vice President J.D. Vance was discussing something deeper: identity, democracy, freedom of speech. So I don't think it can get clearer than this, and that perhaps Meloni is only the beginning of the kind of conservative, wave that now is hitting Europe as well.
Right, Akanksha, thank you so much for bringing in all those details. With global conservative leaders like Trump and Modi being now called threats to democracy, how are they largely going to respond to this growing alliance? Well, it will be interesting to watch on world level, but now we're swiftly shifting our focus to